Welcome to one more installment of the Jones College of Business Tech Tips. This week we're going to talk about sort and filter dynamic array functions. So basically, you are familiar with a large data table. In this case, we have products. And under data in Excel, you can do sort and filter options that will restrict the number of rows that are shown in the screen. Okay? Today, we're going to learn about something different, and it's Excel dynamic array function sort and filter. This is different because it creates an easier way to manipulate the data while we are still conserving the source data, as you can see there. So we're going to learn about three functions. These are sort, filter, and unique. So let's start with a demo. Here we have a set of products list. It's about 100 rows of products. Usually you go right here, for example, in margin and say, I want to sort ascending, or you want to filter by a specific feature. You want to say, okay, I want to get only the ones that are, 13%, and that's it. What it does, it automatically adjusts the given data set. In this example, we're going to learn some functions that will generate a different data set in Excel. The first function will be the sort, for example. I'm going to go to the sort function. This is the sort function. Sort, parentheses, the name of the array, in this case, table 1, the column that you want to sort, in this case, the third column that happens to be the product category, and the order ascending or descending. 1 is ascending, minus 1 is descending. So let's go execute to see what happens. I'm going to hit enter, and here is the result. Notice that we have a complete new data set with the data sorted by product categories. So we have clothing, we have electronics, home and kitchen ports, etc. So here is an example of a sort function. And it's a dynamic array that expands and contracts according to the amount of data in the resulting set. Another function that we're going to learn is filter. Here is the filter function. Notice that it says filter, the table, and the criteria for the filtering. In this case, it says in table 1, the column margin greater or equal than 30%. So it's going to list all those products that are with a margin greater or equal than 30%. Let's go see how this works. Hit enter, and then we have the function right there. And notice that it lists all the products which a margin greater or equal than 30%. Now we have several columns in here. We have about 48 products in the resulting set out of the 100 products. Okay? So this is another example of a dynamic array function filter. Let's go learn about a third function, unique. So here is the unique function. Notice that it says unique, table 1, product category. So it's going to list all the products categories only once, so only the unique values. So let's go execute to see what is the result. And here it is. We have the product categories, and there are basically 6 product categories: sports, clothing, electronics, toys, home and garden, and office supplies. Very simple. One of the advantages of having functions is that you can nest the functions together. For example, I can do something like this. Here is a nested sort with a filter function. So the inner function executes first, filter the table, all those products in which the margin is greater than 45%, and then sort the results by product category in ascending order. That's the example that we're going to see here. Let's go see how it executes. And here is the result set. Notice that we have a limited resource set, only those products with a product margin of greater or equal than 45%, and thus delimited products, and is sorted by category: clothing, electronics, home and kitchen, office supplies, sports, and toys. Very simple. But you can see how mixing all these functions together, it provides you a lot more insightful information, and is also simpler to visualize in this example in the data set. So what are the advantages? We have learned how to use the dynamic array functions, sort, filter, unique. There are several advantages of using the dynamic array versus doing the operations within the table itself. First is an automatic resizing of the result range. As you can see, the result range, the rows appear automatically in a separate space from the original data. So the original data is preserved. So that's another advantage. Therefore, it's a non-destructive result data. Every time that you perform an operation, you get a new data set separate that you can manipulate separately. Eliminates the need to copy and paste. You don't have to do that anymore. Automatically update as the data source changes. Very important. Because we have this set separate from the actual original data, as you update the data, the dynamic set automatically recalculates every time. And of course, the ability to nest functions together is another big advantage of having these dynamic functions, array functions for you in Excel. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me anytime. I wish this function that I showed you today will help you in your daily work. Sort, filter, nesting the functions, uniques, those are all very nice functions. There are many other functions in Excel that we can see later on. Thank you very much. This concludes this presentation.